Hola, hola, hola. I hope this is all good. I hope you guys can hear me. Let's make sure everything's working. So, welcome to the call. I am going to record this as well so that you can get the recording. Yeah, I haven't done webinars for a little bit, so just keep up with me here. I want to check a few things. I think it should all be good. But yeah, anyways, just let me know if I need to repeat anything, if the internet cuts in or out. Welcome to the call. So I just want to start this 10-week webinar series for a variety of reasons, really to help people focus on, feeling better in their life and having less anxiety, less depression, less negative thoughts going on in their life so that they can actually step into their life and be present in their life and enjoy the small things in their life. So this is something that, I always notice the little things in life, and it's something that you can really, appreciate when you start to notice the little things, that the amazing beauty around us that really surrounds us, and how much we can create in our lives, and the possibilities that we have as humans to reach our goals and to tune into the surroundings and energy that we are blessed with. So really focusing over the next 10 weeks on healing the body, healing the mind, our connection with the body and mind, going through breaking bad habits and bouncing back from disappointments. All these things are what people want to learn. Feeling like you're comfortable in your own skin, feeling closer to family and friends, feeling at ease in your life and in your bodies as well. So, and we know that monkey brain, the monkey mind, has a lot of things going on. We're picking up a lot of senses, and there's a lot of things to sort through with life as well. You never know what life's going to hand us. So we want to stay grounded, and people want to feel like they're connected to a larger group, or even just that connection with the universe, really discovering why you're here and what you need to do on a larger scale that is tying in with your gift and what you offer the world, or what you offer your friends and family surrounding you, how you can help them. But most of all, today we want to talk about how you can help yourself, understanding your truth and why it's important to be honest with yourself, and how that can create healing in your life as well. So healing from anxiety and depression, and really loving yourself, so that the more you love yourself and take care of yourself, you can heal your life, and you have way more to give back to other people as well. So really, yeah, like we're taking a look at ways we can get rid of stress and live a stress-free life, have more energy, taking a look at things that you're doing now. So what are goals in your life that you want to achieve? It could be little things, even something like going to the gym more, or working out 3 or 4 days a week, and keeping yourself there longer than 20 minutes, that you get a good workout in. And because you do, if you have done that before, how good it feels when you're done. And when you've accomplished those things, you feel better emotionally, you feel better mentally, you have more energy, you feel better in your clothes, you even just have more confidence and self-esteem when you do get to check those things off your list. And when you're consistent with it, it's just going to provide you with more results and feeling better, and things become easier as you retrain yourself. So what have you found that works for you, that you enjoy doing, that makes you feel good, that is a healthy part of your life and that keeps you going? And what have you found in your life that doesn't work for you, something that you want to eliminate, that you could do better at, even just trying harder, or doing something with more care that you can just help you practice, throughout your week, eating better, maybe being more cautious and mindful of your eating, maybe how you do your laundry or clean the house, just doing something more mindful that it's going to make you feel better in your environment and your surroundings. Then also noticing where you spend your time emotionally. So how often do you stress? What type of emotions come up with that? Is it an anger? Is it an anxiety? Is it just feeling sad and hopeless? And how long do you let yourself sit in those feelings? So it's really noticing when you're getting stuck in a rut that you want to pull yourself out of those thoughts, and start sorting through that stuff. So you see people that you think might be very happy, might have all this stuff going for them. And there's a difference between a few of them. Some people might have tons of money, huge houses, but they're also feeling depressed or guilty that they have these things or not sure what to do with it, or maybe they're very angry. So everybody, no matter who we are, we all have to deal with our emotions, look at what we want in our life and how we got there. And then there's those people who, have success, but they're content. They're striving for more. They're content, as in their mind is at peace. They feel good in their body. They enjoy, the little things in life. They get to spend time with their family. They have more freedom in a way. So, and freedom from stress, I guess, freedom from anxiety, feeling depressed, and just really creating their life for them. So a lot of the difference is between successful or unsuccessful. Reaching your goals is the way we think, and it can be in terms of money, it can be in terms of relationships, it could be in terms of our bodies and just how our careers unfold even as well. So it just, a lot of our lives, everything our life revolves around is our thoughts. And so we just really want to tune into that, knowing how important it is to tune into your true self and deciding things from the heart as well. There's only two feelings. They say one feeling is bad, one feeling is good. And when we pay attention to this, it can just help you decipher between, am I using my head or am I using my heart? And a lot of times in this world, we have to balance that logic versus feeling in something that we truly desire. But you want to choose that in a way of like a healthy, so you're listening to your heart and something is, you're afraid of it or it's a fearful decision. You want to make it in terms of, if you look back in say 40 years from now and you don't make this decision, how is that going to make you feel? Because making that decision, how do I put this, I guess, making that decision with the hunch of knowing that you really don't want to do it is probably something that you don't need to do, or making that decision based on what other people think or what other people in the family have told you or your friends. Could be making that decision based out of fear or based on other people's opinions. Also doesn't tie in with your vibration and your resonance of what works for you. So are there a lot of times in your life where you say you're going to do something even though you don't want to do it? Have you tried saying no? Or it could take practice even just to say no and do things that you want to do without feeling the influence of other people. I'm not saying that you should go against like friends and groups of people, but it's just more so where are you drawn to and what do you want to do with your goals in your life? So what if that anxiety is trying to tell you something? And what if we don't have to carry it around like it's a diagnosis? So people go to the doctor and, they're feeling this anxiety and depression and they want to know what to do with it. So we're going to go through some scientifically proven things that I've tried and that I've used to help me get rid of anxiety and feeling depressed. And then knowing when that anxiety is coming and how to get rid of it, because you don't want to let it get the best of you. And that's one thing that one of my clients told me many years ago is don't let anxiety get the best of you. And I realized then that it wasn't a part of me, like it was coming to me for a reason because I wasn't in balance with what I wanted to do with my life. And the relationship that I was in at the time, it was trying to tell me something, the anxiety or feeling depressed wasn't ruining the relationship or causing me to not maybe enjoy my job or doing things that I used to like doing. It was telling me that I wasn't quite living my life or being in that relationship which is inside something that I knew I didn't want to do any longer. So I'm going to go over it. I'll go over that in a little bit about me. So recognizing that these emotions are things that are causing us to shift, are giving us signs that we need to shift, that things are changing, because things are always changing in our lives no matter what. It's constantly that energy in us. If you can imagine yourself as invincible, that your body is just like a metabolism. It's moving energy, moving chemistry, gases, and when you can envision it like that, our thoughts and the bloodstream, the body's energy, just in resemblance to the clouds in the sky, something that I like to compare it to because they're constantly moving. So depending on what type of energy or emotions you have that day, it's going to be shifting. And this is something to notice when, you know, you're watching your day unfold. You're watching that anxiety and feeling that depression. How can you shift it? And recognizing that maybe you've stayed in this position too long, or you've been doing this for years or weeks. Those repetitive thoughts are just trying to tell you something, that things maybe need to change. And yes, things are always changing, but it can be time to get up and make some bigger choices. That, you know, like staying at a job that you don't like. So it could be years and years that we stay there, but why do we stay there? Because of what other people would think if we leave, or because of starting something new. You know, after being somewhere for how many years, it's hard for people to start something new because of what they're used to. Maybe the pay would be different. It could be a risk of maybe not having a job for a while. So there's a whole bunch of things that help us make decisions in our lives too. And really, it's just making a decision with our belief systems that we've stored from all the memories we create. We'll get a little bit deeper into this stuff as we go through today and the next 10 weeks. Just getting, really digging deeper. So I'm going to come back to that stuff just because it's kind of more of its own little section. So not letting anxiety get the best of you, going through this phase in your life and noticing that things need to change, that you're the common denominator, something in your life that you really want. If you're going to do it and you're going to see results, then you've got to make the actions. You've got to, you can dream and you can meditate, but you have to take the actions to do it as well. And then you'd be surprised as soon as you start eliminating things that don't work for you and practicing more and putting more energy into things that do work, things change so much in your life. So we go through these phases and emotions at different times for different reasons. All the timing in our life really is perfectly timed. It's happening exactly the way it's meant to be happening. So you wouldn't be feeling this way if you weren't meant to go through these emotions. And it's wanting us to be aware of how we do feel and how we don't want to feel. So by learning these belief systems and then making those decisions comparing two things, really they're all that stored belief systems that we're used to as we grow up and we're conditioned to it. We compare two things to make decisions. So we want to help, as we go through these 10 weeks, I want to help you guys realize and notice that a lot of decisions coming from fear or lack of, or, I love meeting people that make decisions out of curiosity and feeling awesome and just an inner knowing of like having that leap of faith, trust in the universe that even if things don't work out, they're just, at least they tried. And it's finding out where you make your decisions from. If you want to make decisions from being afraid, then you're kind of going to get an outcome of something that may not fully satisfy you. So we want to focus on looking at how far you've come rather than focusing on what needs to be done. Again, we can decide to spend our time thinking about all the things we need to do rather than looking back and giving ourselves credit and taking it easy on ourselves to support ourselves, to be nicer to ourselves and know that we do our best. You want to wake up every day just asking, how can I create a celebration for today? How can I outcreate myself today? How can I create a better day than yesterday? How can I be better than yesterday and do, help somebody else today? Or how can I offer more compliments for somebody today? Even accepting compliments can be something that you need to practice energetically, because if there's always some kind of somebody compliments you and it's hard for you to take it, and you always have some sort of comment to make back at them, then you're also not receiving that from them too. So that's something that people work on as well. Maybe they're giving that compliment, but it's a gift for you to receive from them. So giving yourself credit and focusing on what needs to be done. Just looking at how far you've come, and then that can help you live in the present moment as well. So all these little things are just ways to keep you in the moment. So we'll start with, we're just going to go through a little meditation, scanning the body. So wherever you're sitting, you could be lying down, you could be sitting on a chair, you could be sitting on the floor. Just going to go through a little bit of a meditation here. So you can bring your index finger and your thumb together, have them rest on your knees, sitting up tall. Just feeling like a string is pulling at the crown of your head. And then just bring your chin level with the floor and bring your awareness to your breath. So feeling the breath on the tip of your nose. Inhaling nice and slow, and exhale. And just feeling the body relax. So relax the eyes, relax your cheeks, relax your ears, your forehead, your eyebrows. Just relaxing the jaw. So feeling the whole body relax, scanning the body from the crown of the head, down the face, down the shoulders. And first of all, just imagine the skin on the body relaxing. So the skin, the tension surrounding your body is relaxing. Just feeling any breeze or subtle energy, the temperature outside of your body, and the skin. Feeling your shoulders relax, any tension at the back of your neck, your chest. Scanning the body down the ribs, down the abdomen, the hips, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, and your feet. Just bringing your awareness to the tips of your toes. And just feeling the connection your body has with your seat. Wherever you're sitting, just feel that connection your body has. And keep bringing your awareness back to your breath. And try to focus your eyes in towards the tip of your nose. You can focus at the tip of your nose or eyebrow centered. It's between the eyes. And notice where you feel any pain. Maybe you feel any aches or tension along the spine. Maybe you feel it in the low back or your glutes, maybe one side or the other, and the hips. If there's any sciatic pain, just asking the body, why are you there? What is this trying to tell me? What is this pain and sensation trying to tell me? And just really allowing that tension to dissolve off the body. Keep bringing your thoughts, the awareness back to your breath. So just timing the normal breathing. If you're noticing the inhale, time it with the exhale. It's nice and even. Just feeling that calm energy. So the breath is nice and calm. That energy throughout the body is nice and calm. And take a slow, deep breath in. Just expand the belly, expand the ribs. Inhale into your chest. Let your shoulders rise up. So keep inhaling. Expand all the space in your lungs. Inhaling to the crown of your head. And exhale nice and slow. And to slowly open your eyes. So try to keep that energy with you even throughout the day. I know when you're traveling or busy at the office, having a lot of errands to run, you can do just that little exercise of bringing your awareness to your breath, feeling that breath at the tip of your nose for just for that peace of mind. So it's going to tune you into a slight meditation, whether you're in the grocery store or driving or at the office or at work, sitting on the beach, wherever you are. That can just bring you into the moment. So tuning into your breath is something that's really, really important, because if our breath is impaired from our thoughts, just from thinking too much or having, being worried about something, being tense about something, whatever emotion it is, it's going to sit in some part of the mind because it's active, and it's going to be running through the body with a certain frequency, certain vibration. So we're going to carry that with us throughout the day. So over time, when those stresses, they can evolve so that energy, the momentum in that area of, say, feeling anxiety or feeling depression, will expand. That momentum will build in those areas. So we really want to try to disconnect that frequency of feeling anxious or feeling depressed, and noticing when we start to get into those emotions to shift ourselves, which can help us build over time. When we practice meditation, affirmations, our yoga, eating properly, and when you start to pay attention to really what you put in your body, how it affects your mood. And I'm gonna have another girl on here as well, Kim and Crystal. Crystal owns Organic Select in Puerto Vallarta here, and she wants to chat about mood swings and just how food really affects that as well. So that's something important that we can do daily, right? Is just pay attention to our food. So eating certain colors for your chakras. We'll talk about that more when we go through diet and our mood and affecting the body and our life. Just practicing all those simple techniques is going to help you build momentum in carrying these good feelings and good vibrations with you. So tuning into your truth, like what does that feel like? Making a decision that you're unsure of, even, if it's an excited feeling but you're still unsure, it's probably telling you something that it's going to be okay. If there's just that uneasy feeling, I don't know, I like to say it's like a lower vibration or like a darker feeling that just doesn't seem right. I mean, the more and more you allow yourself to tune into your feelings, you will start to notice when you do make those right decisions. I mean, we all make those decisions basically, we shouldn't have done that or shouldn't have done this, but usually there's something that's telling us if we should or shouldn't make that decision. And then, when we reanalyze things later on, we can kind of see where we weren't listening to our truth. So a lot of things that I have kind of gotten me where I am today is really just by following my truth and knowing what I've done and what I didn't do in the past that I regret or that I wish I did, that based on those choices from going, traveling the world, taking different courses for massage and energy healing, anything from booking this plane flight to talking with a guy, you kind of get those vibes, you get those feelings, you notice when you really have a sensation you should be somewhere. And then just making a choice to do something different, going out of your comfort zone is another feeling. If you have a feeling you should go somewhere, go to this dinner party one night, but you're uncomfortable or not sure if you should go, and you do, usually there's somebody you meet there that you have a great conversation with, can lead you into a business direction. Or I've met so many people that are talking about Reiki, and then they meet somebody that can teach them and point them in the direction of learning Reiki. And that's just little coincidences, but all that timing in the universe is happening for reasons, and we just have to tune into those opportunities. So tuning into that, allowing yourselves to be vulnerable. All humans, we're vulnerable to pain, and it's unpredictable, but there's that continual change in our lives. So being comfortable with that continuous change, and the content and quality of our lives will unfold depending on our level of awareness and where we focus our attention. So there's this Native American story of a grandfather imparting a life lesson with his grandson. He tells him, "I have two wolves fighting in my heart," he said. He said, "One wolf is vengeful, fearful, envious, and resentful, and deceitful. The other wolf is loving, compassionate, generous, truthful, and serene." And the grandson asks, "Which wolf will win the fight?" And the grandfather answers, "The one that I feed." So whatever gets our attention will flourish. It's the law of attraction. If we keep our attention on the negative, then it can overwhelm us. It'll overwhelm the positive. If we do the opposite, refusing to deal with or acknowledge what is difficult and painful, or pretending that it doesn't exist, our world will become out of balance, our body will become out of balance, and the same things can keep happening over and over to us, until we get that lesson. So and whatever doesn't get our attention, if we're avoiding it, will wither away or retreat below the surface of our conscious awareness. So this is where active memories can get stuffed down, that if we don't deal with them, it's like a record, or I guess it's, like a record or a computer file. So you have files stored in these computer folders that are always open. If they're always active, then there's still energy, and there's still a charge there that's left, that's going through the mind, that's going through the body. So our body is just like an electrical device that really is not attached to anything physical. So a non-physical source of electricity that we have. And if those emotions get stuffed down, then it triggers those memories and causes different diseases over time. So the word disease means dis-ease. And with these active memories, fears, worries, phobias, different issues that we're, continuing to carry out in our life, or not eliminating and not dealing with, will just keep getting stuffed down. And our organs will have to make up for that. And then that's when the suppressed emotions will lead to different organ trouble, hormonal trouble, a lot of trouble with adrenal glands, and people being so busy that it affects their nervous system, urinary tract infections as well, not dealing with, just like our survival, our need for survival, getting rid of things that frustrate us, or ironically, being pissed off, with the kidneys and the bladder, our heart, people with different heart conditions or heart palpitations, having anxiety or depression, the heart starts to close itself off. So if we feel emotionally closed, same with carpal tunnel, the wrists and the palms have to do with the heart meridian. So the heart itself, the lining of the heart, will encase and protect itself. So this causes, is from depression. And then the heart has an inability to generate joy. So the heart meridian running along the hands, when you do things with open hands, giving or receiving, even just emotionally being open, to hugs and human touch as well, will open our heart to more joy. But when we have trouble with that, or even doing things with ease in our life, the wrists could start to, we develop arthritis, we develop carpal tunnel. So those are just some examples of how the organs and the connective tissue, our muscles, bones, will hold on to different mental and emotional issues. So we'll go over those a lot more in the following weeks on kind of diving deeper into the meaning of things in our life. So balancing the body, mind. So with those active memories, there's always a positive energy coming from, right? So we want to find the root of these disorders, diseases, conditions, even just physical ailments. So the mind will have a reflection through the physical body, and even different injuries that happen, say in football, somebody gets hit, breaks their tears their ACL, and most people always ask me, well, how does that connect if somebody got injured and it wasn't themselves that that did it to themselves, it was from somebody else, an external influence? Well, that energy in their Wei Qi, or maybe in their mental activity where they're spending their thoughts or worries or having something they need to deal with in their life, will happen because of them, not because the other person, not just because the other person hit them. But say example of, I know a friend of mine, her father had jumped off a ladder and he broke both of his ankles. He broke both of his feet. And he was just never gave himself a break, never sat down, always busy, running with grandkids. And then the mother also had a daycare. So they were just constantly busy and constantly giving back, constantly helping, never taking time for himself. So it was almost as if the universe was saying, hey, it's time to take a break. Enjoy every minute with your grandchildren. Just take time out of your day to rest your feet and, calm the mind, because sometimes we don't take time to sharpen the knife and we just keep going and going and going, and then we're going to burn ourselves out. So I wanted to just talk a little bit here about, I'm going to have my friend Amir Mahmood on one of the calls as well. He does hypnotherapy and NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and he's got an amazing story as well. His mom actually just passed away from cancer, and he has helped so many people change their lives just with their self-worth, their money situations, coaching people as well. And this goes back to the decision making of how this NLP and neuro-linguistic programming, as well as coaching, can help people with anything from addictions to alcoholism, anxiety, depression, fears, different phobias. And this is just something as simple as how the brain can work with just making two decisions of a boy that he was dealing with through coaching. He was living at home with his mom, and he just moved back in, and the boy wanted to be left alone. But he wanted to figure out why he wasn't able to do work in his room, which was something interesting. As he did this whole treatment, he went through and found that there's like a trigger response with making a decision. And when the boy would go home, he wanted to be left alone, so he'd go into his room and he'd close the door. So there's a decision there of either closing the door and having a nap to be left alone, or closing the door, be left alone to do his homework and computer work that he needed to do for school and business. So the trigger was when as soon as he clicked, like the door would click, it would lock, and then that would trigger him to have a nap instead of doing his work, because he could be left alone. It had a response with his nervous system with that choice to just have a nap and go to sleep instead. So after Amir worked on him and went through all these questions and found out what the trigger was, he just had to imagine himself being further away from that door. And then he started leaving the door open after he got home from school, and just would start doing his homework, start finishing his work that he needed to be done instead of having sleep. So this is something that I just wanted to chat about, and how powerful it is. Our belief systems and those little thoughts that we do that automatically cause us to choose or not to do things in our life that become repetitive, right? So our behaviors, what we do before work or after work, really can have an effect on the rest of our lives because time goes by so quick. So where are you clogging yourself up? Where are you clogging your life up? And what areas do you want to work on? What do you want to experience? Well, you want to experience the flow in life, right? Going with the flow, not stressing about things, not worrying about or being attached to results. So just going to basics really of, finding those few areas of your life that you really want to work on and making a list. This list here. So making a list of things that you like to do. Not things that you have to do, but things that you like to do. Things that you hate to do. And I don't like to use the word hate, but just making a little hate list can help you see what do you hate to do that you could ask for help with, or that you could find somebody that maybe likes to do those things. And then you can free up space and time in your day that, maybe this person is better. I'm thinking in terms of even just moms out there, people that need some extra housework. How can you, or where can you ask for help that can give you a little bit more time for yourself during the day? Even in business or creativity, there's things that other people online can do, like Fiverr.com, that can help you with your website, that can help you with making books and all those other kinds of things. So it's amazing what's out there that we don't even really know exists. But freeing up some time for yourself. What do you know you need to do? So what area of your life do you know that you need to change? Maybe you need to work on a budget. Maybe you need to go book a few training sessions with a personal trainer. Maybe you need to go explore different healing modalities with a few people in your area so that you can find out what works for you. Especially noticing if you're on anxiety or depression medication, or if you haven't tried anything else really, then what is it that you need to do that you've been wanting to do that we can get done this week? So before next Sunday, what is something that you can do? Picking up the phone and making that phone call to book an appointment, just so that you can get some insight. And it's just learning more about yourself, learning what works and what doesn't work for you. What have you been putting on hold in your life? So is there something that you're going to put on hold until you do this, or until you, lose 10 pounds? You're not going to go to the gym, or you're going to do it on your own until you start feeling better about yourself. But what is it that you're putting on hold that there's no time for excuses anymore? So the word now I like to think of in terms of no opportunity wasted. So, the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to see results and less excuses for ourselves, And what area of your life can you put more effort in, even if you know it will make you feel uncomfortable, but it will make you better? So what do you know you need to do? What areas of your life can you put more effort in, even if you know it will be a little uncomfortable, but it will make you better? And what have you been put on hold? Let's say even just going to buy a juicer, or relationships, communicating with your spouse, or booking that trainer at the gym, going to your first yoga class if you haven't. which is also why I made some online yoga videos and meditation lessons, because I had a lot of clients that didn't want to come to the classes, but they still wanted to try the yoga at home. So it was nice to still be able to work with the same clients and have them go through the way I teach the yoga and guided lessons to that we can work together. And they understand how I teach and how I describe the body and healing, all that stuff. So answering those few questions, and then what is the first step towards to allow those things to work? The first step to work towards the last 3 questions that I just asked. So again, what do you know you need to do? What areas of your life can you put more effort in, even if it will be uncomfortable? And what have you been putting on hold? So those few questions, just what are the first steps that you need to take to do that? Maybe it's going to buy some new gym clothes. Maybe you need some new runners. Maybe it's writing a letter to a friend or a spouse that you need to get off your chest. So all of these things are going to help you get into balance with who you are, because at the end of the day, making decisions based on other people's opinions, we all know doesn't work for us. It's just spending a lot of time and energy with those thoughts being carried around with us that doesn't serve us. It's just a waste of energy, wasting time thinking about those things instead of putting that into our own productivity and our own lifestyle. So doing things long enough to get results. A lot of people yo-yo, and I mean, life happens, right? So we can be consistent for a few weeks and then things happen that we might not have enough time to continue. But the more and more you get into that routine of going to the gym, eating your healthy, juicing, once or twice a day, and journaling even. So journaling, meditation, yoga, the gym, finding what really works for you and what you like doing, and keep being real with yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're going to stay home and do yoga and the fridge is there, I know that I have to go out to do my yoga. Some days, if I'm doing a gentle yoga, I'll definitely do my yoga here. But I have to start to go out to CrossFit and yoga, because that has somebody else pushing you. So if you need a little more push in some areas, go for the guidance, because it's always going to be worth having somebody else there to push you. And it's worth the investment too, is having that guidance and having that knowledge, because sometimes we don't do those things because we're not sure of how to take things to the next level, or we might not be sure of how to even begin some of these things. And until we start experiencing them and trying them for ourselves is when the habits are going to start being implemented and changing our nervous system and actually changing the way we think, changing the way the body heals itself, and how the body absorbs and utilizes all the vitamins and minerals, because they're going to be in direct response to how you're feeling emotionally and mentally. And how the body absorbs its food is the same way as we process our thoughts. So if there's irritable bowel syndrome, if you know somebody with that or you're experiencing that, I know a lot of people with anxiety do have irritable bowel because they're worried. So that those decisions of, spending time worrying about the past and the future is taking you out of this present moment. So that's something that when I was dealing with anxiety, that I noticed the more and more I did body talk treatments, and the more and more I went to yoga class, and I learned Reiki, and that, by me going for these treatments is then what got me into studying them, so that I can help more people with anxiety, feeling depressed, so that how to get yourself out of there, or being realistic with yourself that it's going to take some time. And you can go see so many people out there for assistance, but it comes down to us doing the work on our own as well. So like I said, it's a good investment to go learn and collect that data from trying different treatments. and seeing what works for you, and then noticing how you feel before you go for a treatment and after, or the gym or your meals, journaling, and then you have something to look back at, something to notice, how far you've come, something to measure. So something that can clog us up too is like we're cleaning out our drains, we're cleaning out the pipes. Spring cleaning, it's almost summer, I guess, but well, not quite, still spring cleaning. So we're cleaning out those clogged pipes and looking for that understanding within ourselves and telling ourselves the truth. So if we avoid, say, telling the truth, or I mean, I've met lots of guys that will say, it's just easier to not tell the whole truth because then you don't, there's no conflict, or you don't hurt anybody's feelings, or, I mean, that's just a few men that I've met, but I mean, as humans, we could all avoid telling something, maybe, to avoid hurting somebody's feelings, or not telling the whole truth because it's just easier than explaining things. I guess, what else am I looking for? Here's some other examples. But that can clog us, it's because if we don't tell the truth, or even asking for what we truly need, asking for what will work for us, asking for help, saying yes when we really want to say no, all these little things can clog us up, and then we allow or give our power away because we don't want to ruffle any feathers, so we don't want to cause conflict, and then who do we let have the power? Is other people. They say the peanut factory, all these other people, we give our power away. We're tired, we're drained, we're wondering why, things aren't going with the flow, but it's because we need to be in tune with ourselves and really, let go of those opinions again, of judging, being judged, not hurting other people's feelings, felt like you're being walked over, or maybe too communicative. Some people could be just really loud and ask for too much in a rude way, but it's just, it's finding your balance and keeping your power, keeping yourself happy, doing what you want to do. And nobody's happiness should depend on what other people do. So our happiness at the end of the day is created by us. It has nothing to do with anybody else, and everyone else has a different perspective. So one of Osho, he's a mystic from India. I read lots of his books. He's quite amazing, and the way he speaks and arranges the words is such a different and perfect truth. It's he's amazing to read and listen to. Actually, you could Google him on YouTube. One of his quotes, no, I lost it here. It'll come back to me. But yes, to thine own self be true. So we can't blame other people. You cannot blame any other subject for feeling separated, or feeling depressed, or feeling anxious. People blame what they think is their problem. So whatever they think is their problem, they're going to blame that. But blaming that problem is actually what's creating the separation. So again, like I said, we're the common denominator. So what you think is the reason for your separation is not the reason for the depression or anxiety. It's only the indicator of your problem. So what we blame things on is creating more of a problem. It's really, we need to focus on ourselves and dig a little bit deeper. Things that come into our lives that we think is the problem is really just a reflection of how we're vibrating, how we're working at that time, and the energy that we're giving off. So you want to undo these subconscious patterns and behaviors. And throughout the next 10 weeks, we're just going to dive into more of that and accepting ourselves and our life situation, working out what is right for us, how to choose what is right for us, and how to notice when things are shifting. how to keep that momentum going as well, and how to keep ourselves happy and stay true to us. So embracing our body, mind, and soul. And something I like to describe too is like we're not our anything that you can perceive. We're not our clothes, we're not our eyes, we're not our organs. It's all one big community of 50 billion trillion cells that has arranged this body. And in a consciousness course I took, they say you're not anything that you can perceive. So it's just interesting how the universe works on a conscious level. Everything is consciousness. Consciousness is everything. So when you're focusing on emotions or thoughts, just remember that, or say even working on, one aspect of the body, physical or emotional, or you're talking with a counselor, or you're going for acupuncture, or the food that you put into your body, the music that you listen to, and the audios that you listen to. All of this is going to create your body. It's going to have an effect on it. So it's all working on as one, no matter what aspect of the body you're working on. So also, with the belief patterns, I guess it comes down to that creation of the belief where we created it, making decisions from being right or wrong, feeling like you're a good person or a bad person, past memories, being afraid of something happening, and making those decisions out of fear. So when you start to notice that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you, and just embracing it and letting your guard down, then you're going to enjoy yourself much more. You're going to be able to enjoy something as simple as a bus ride, eating a kiwi or a banana. You just have that mindfulness and being in the moment, rather than worrying and thinking and being attached to those outcomes. So I don't want you to waste time thinking about all those fears and worries of what might happen. And also the brain has a way to respond in terms of, if it seems like a situation that's already happened in the past, then it's going to react and protect itself or put its guard up. But just knowing that every situation is different, even though it might seem the same, that you have the ability to react and deal with it in a completely different way. So yeah, that Osho quote is, there are infinite minds because every mind is living in or infinite worlds because every mind is living in its own world. So there's just tons of perspectives that, the way people deal with their own truth, it really is completely different than somebody else's truth. So even something that can be difficult for people is not explaining themselves or feeling like they need to be understood or having to explain themselves, which can again clog those pipes. And we want to keep ourselves open and laying new pipes so that we're open to receive this energy that's coming in of what we want, rather than clogging it up with other people and carrying that around with us. So this is another way of just a perspective, a little story of how we can think one thing when we see somebody, but, not really realize it. Actually, there's a couple of little stories here. Even just in massage school, how we had to just stand and observe a large group of people walking by, and we all had to notice what different gait people had, the way they were walking, their energy, their movement, how they're, the kinesiology, the kinesthetics of the body, how they're moving. And I remember somebody thought this guy was drunk, but really he wasn't. He had Parkinson's disease. So sometimes people make these comments or have these perspectives that something appears this way, but it actually isn't. So on a factual level, to make you feel more at ease about being understood or your decisions, really is that at the end of the day, nobody, you don't have to explain yourself because people might not fully understand, or they're not seeing it and they don't know you, so they're not seeing things as how they really are. Just another perspective of a story that I heard is, this guy was walking behind a lady and she dropped his candy wrapper and she didn't notice because she just kept walking. She didn't pick it up. So he, in his business suit, was in a hurry. He walked, behind her, picked it up, and then walked in front of her and threw it in the garbage right in front of her and said, hey, you dropped something. I just picked it up for you, and threw it in the trash. And thinking that this lady doesn't really care about the environment, or she's lazy and unobservant that she didn't throw it in the trash. But she burst into tears, and he's thinking like, okay, well, what's going on, and she's like, I'm sorry, I just was having a bad day and I'm arguing with my husband. I hope you don't think that I did that on purpose. And on she went. She felt really bad. So we never really know what type of day somebody is having as well. So just keeping that perspective in our minds, that when we're choosing for ourselves, that not everybody knows what's going on with us, and vice versa, and just keeping yourself open to receiving. So if people, even, I love that quote, is, I actually don't know who said it, but it's, when we stop judging ourselves, nobody else will judge us either. And that's something that, regardless if people are judging or anyone is judging, then if you're not judging yourself, then nobody cares. Like, you don't care, nobody cares. So when you're not judging yourself, it wouldn't matter to you at all, or affect you at all, or cause any emotional change in your mind or body. If, there are people out there judging. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a good quote to keep in mind, that, your thoughts and worries will create a ripple effect, like throwing a stone into a still lake. And those waves will affect the whole body and will affect your outer world as well. So changing yourself, and what if you've done these behaviors for so long, how can you teach an old dog new tricks? So you can teach an old dog new tricks, and you can retrain yourself. So in the last decade, neuroscientists and psychologists found time and time again that the brain is capable of growing new cells and pathways, or that neuroplasticity. So it reflexively affects the body and its potential for higher functioning and training. So it can reshape itself. The brain can be rewired. The way you talk to yourself is so important. Your self-esteem, loving yourself. So noticing patterns within yourself, and how, I guess it's like how you talk to yourself. Would you talk to your friends or family the way you talk to yourself? So just going back again to taking it easy on yourself, giving yourself some love and respect, and knowing that you're doing as best you can. And affirmations too. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the brain and how words and emotions, or the words we use, affects the brain. And each word has vibration, so that lights up a different part of the brain. So using something like peace and love helps to regulate and influence the expression of genes with stress, emotional and physical stress. So strengthening these areas in the frontal lobes and promoting the brain's cognitive functioning. Those positive words can help to alter the expression of those genes. It propels the motivational centers of the brain into action and builds resiliency. Hostile language and swears, negative words, all these different words, whether they're positive or negative, will light up different parts of the brain that have to do with the five senses. So hostile language can disrupt specific genes that play a key part in the production of neurochemicals that protect us from stress. So humans are hardwired to worry. It's part of our primal brains that protects us from threats to survival. So naturally, our thoughts will go there first. Having a single negative word can increase the activity in your amygdala, the fear center of the brain, which releases dozens of stress-producing hormones and neurotransmitters. So this interrupts the brain's functioning. So imagine like kids or animals, being abused or yelled at, like how much that affects the nervous system. It causes us to age faster the more we're stressed, more diseases, more clogged pipes that doesn't allow oxygen circulation and the hormones to function properly. So angry words, negative words will send alarm messages through the brain, and they partially shut down the logic and the reasoning centers located in the frontal lobes. So that's by Newberg and Waldman. Those Andrew Newberg, medical doctor. And there, it's from a book, Words Can Change Your Brain. That's what I was looking for. So by holding a positive and optimistic word in your mind, you stimulate the frontal lobe activity. This includes specific language centers that connect directly to the motor cortex responsible for moving you into action. So even positive words, like I've been out in Yelapa doing some massages and healing work for the last couple of weeks in Mexico here, and I met a couple of people who were doing this ayahuasca ceremony, but then he was explaining to me how it brought him out of all of his drinking and habits and things that he used to do, and he doesn't have any cravings to do them anymore. But he's also surrounded by more positive people that are encouraging him and telling him, what he's good at, things that he can do, that he can stick to his goals and, not go back to drinking. But also on the other end of it, the family is there, and the habitual patterns of uncles and aunts and family and people drinking, doing those repetitive things can also affect the person, especially because there's the mirroring neurons in the brain. So having those positive words, the more you begin, the longer you concentrate on the positive words, the more you begin to affect other areas of the brain, other areas of our life as well. So when we start to, even choose to eat better, it floods over into our exercise, or exercising will flood over into our emotions, and emotions will again go back to the food. So it's kind of like food, gym, choosing to do it, feeling happier. It will all flood and help other areas of the brain and our life. Functions in the parietal lobe start to change, which changes your perception of yourself and the people that you interact with. So having a positive view of yourself will bias you towards seeing the good in others, whereas a negative self-image will include you towards suspicion or doubt. And over time, the structure of your thalamus will also change in response to your conscious words. So your thoughts, your feelings, what we believe, and we believe that the thalamic changes affect the way in which you perceive your reality. So again, the different scientifically proven things like meditation will help to calm that brain activity. And when you see monks and yogis sitting in positions for a long period of time, we're undoing those mental habits that we've created in the mind that have a charge that affect the physical body. So in the physical body, we're undoing those emotions and things that have been stored there, those memories. So that's why it helps to focus on the breathing. When there's obstructions there, it causes obstructions in our body, in the physical tissue, and it can, plays a big part in our life. So yoga, again, tying in with meditation, isn't specifically for the body, it's for the mind. It takes a choice, and it takes strength and courage and determination to sit in these poses and, push yourself at the gym or choose to eat different as well. And the more and more you practice these things and train your body, train your mind, you will start to crave them more and more. They will become easier. It will, it's always a practice, because we never perfect these things. If you've noticed that, it's a journey. If we perfected all this stuff, it would probably be kind of boring. As where else would we go to learn or challenge ourselves? So meditation too, not worrying about if you're doing it right. I'll talk to you a little bit more about meditation here. Not worrying if you're doing it right or wrong. Songs may pop up in your head, old memories, different emotions, anxiety, sadness, happiness. You might laugh. You might feel very sleepy. Um, just really observing and taking the time to observe your thoughts and accept them, embrace them, allow the negative ones to go through, the positive ones, ups and downs, and just taking that as your meditation practice, whether you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sitting for a few minutes before you get out of bed or before you go to sleep in a chair, on the floor. Just do less, really. That's the one thing that I could say is do less, and that way you don't have to worry about doing something wrong. Because a lot of people tell me, I don't know how to meditate, but it's just noticing what's there. And every time you sit, it's going to be different. So not worrying yourself too much about that. So that's something that I'm going to say for homework is just give yourself 5 minutes a day for meditation over the next week. At least 5 minutes, and set a timer or set it longer, and focus on that breathing. So that's all I'm going to say is just focusing on the breathing, on the inhale and the exhale, monitoring tension throughout the body, any aches and pains, and just noticing the thoughts as they move through the mind, because they're always going to be there. And just continuing to do things that feel good for you. So building on that alignment, being true to you. There really could be no more source flowing to you. Source from the universe is what I mean, that we're always connected, and it's just practicing aligning yourself. And, a lot of people want to help others, but the best way that you can help others is assisting and tending to your vibration, because by you doing that, you're going to show them that that it just, you're going to show them the results. You're going to show them that you have more to give because you've created and undone this tension in your life, in your body, and you're still dealing with it. You're still going through the journey. So it's always a practice, and then you can just assist them easier. You cannot focus on helping others if you're tired, if you're sore, if you're stressed, if you're feeling depressed, and you have nothing to tend to others with. So you want to build up that space in your life to be able to handle helping people and giving back, and being selfish, not selfish in a bad way, but being selfish enough to not deny yourself from something that you really want, and taking a break, taking that day off, because you need to refill that energy. So just letting yourself go, almost doing less can be doing more. So the harder we work, it doesn't work for us. The harder we try, the harder we force things, we kind of can contradict the universe and allowing it to help us. And that happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do is all in balance. So you've probably heard this Buddhist quote, but that's something that I noticed going back to when I felt my anxiety really strong about 6-7 years ago, was that what I was doing, what I was wanting, and what I was saying were all out of balance. So like the physical, the mental, the emotional were all not in alignment. So this anxiety and depression and getting out of repetitive behaviors and patterns it's not quite in alignment with exactly what you want. And so that choice, that desire will also always be changing, but we have to really get clear. So getting clear on those areas of your life that you want to work on, making that list of going over your like list and your hate list, and the steps that you can do to first get on that and make those things happen. So pivoting really just being aware of when we're in that position. So we did talk about this, just going over how long do you spend in that same emotional area? So if you are feeling that anxiety, how long do you allow yourself to sit there? So instead of allowing yourself to sit in bed all morning or all day, or not doing those things that you need to do daily, how long do you allow yourself to sit there? So I'm going to keep yourself feeling younger, having more energy by just jumping up and doing these things, catching those thoughts and pivoting them. So bringing your awareness to the breath on the tip of your nose, noticing when you're just kind of sitting there and you need to do your chores, your daily chores, your work, getting up and going to the gym, just making that decision and, telling yourself there's no more excuses. So it's like, pick up the shoes, pick up the socks, go to the gym, get your stuff done. So pivoting yourself will keep you from getting into that repetitive voice in your head, the unconscious active memory that is still charged. Really, you can talk to a counselor, you can do the same thing day in and day out, but until you actually just pick yourself up and change your actions, take those steps, you will begin to see things change. And you'll notice how your life's unfolding. So it will unfold in the direct match with your thoughts and your emotions. And yeah, there's no more time to let that anxiety get the best of you. So we're just finding those blockages in the brain. We're going to go over more in the body and how the body and the mind reflect each other. So that will help finding the blockages in the brain and the body. We'll go over a little bit more throughout the weeks with the consciousness. So that will make a little bit more sense with that for you guys. And yeah, really, we must just accept where we're at in life and then continue on, trusting the flow of the universe. So accepting it, being an allowance and embracing our lives, realizing why we are where we are is what we're going to talk about next week. Our conditioning and the importance of how before age 3, how it conditions us in our nervous system, our lifestyle, our habits, our hereditary, acceptance, how everything is happening right now, thought seeds and manifestation, and there'll be much more. So I actually didn't really share too much of my story. I'll have to make a note and share that right off the bat next time so that you guys understand a little more of where I'm coming from with all of this and my goals. So if I can share with you some things that are coming up, it's like free podcasts. So I haven't got the whole outline done yet that I want to do, but I want to do some guided meditations and visualizations on the gods and goddesses that will help you release your inner warrior and undoing those fears and limitations that hold us back, being your beautiful self, healing your mind and your body, and past life regressions. So we're going to dig deeper into those areas, and those will all be free. I'll be posting them on the website, and I will notify you guys when they're going to be up. I'm also working on an 8-week intensive that we'll be doing live. This one's actually going to be quite a lot more information, which I'll be doing end of August. I'm going to say September because it just seems like the perfect time to get back into things. An 8-week intensive on 2 weeks physical, 2 weeks mental, 2 weeks emotional, and 2 weeks spiritual. But it will have some cool things like quizzes that in order for you to move on to the next module, you have to take the quiz. It will track your progress so you can kind of see how you're doing. And there'll just be ongoing assistance with that as well. So you're going to learn like a lot about the anatomy, physiology of the body and just connection with little tricks and things you can do for self-massage, for some acupressure, for, again, balancing and eating food to match the chakras as well, going into some Ayurvedic information, and a lot more juicy stuff there. So right now, if you're interested, there is a monthly membership on the site that I do for $19.99, which May 1st will be going up to $27.99. And so right now, you can get that for $19 a month, or you can do the 12-month package, which will give you it for $14.99 a month. So you're actually, before it goes up, you'll be able to get it for $5 less. For the year, it's $179, I believe. And this includes 12 meditation lessons that 7 or 8 of them are divided into 2 parts. There's 12 yoga lessons, the 12 meditation lessons, a diet guide. It's 22 pages with some diet information and balancing, eating 6 small meals a day, and some meal plans as well. And then there's 12 recorded webinars. So those webinars are from the members area that we did last year on healing the mind, healing the body. So there is 12 in there, as well as 90 days of self-growth and gratitude questions. So that's to help with the daily journaling. So all of that for $19 a month is awesome. There's tons of information there. And something I've been doing a lot of as well, that can be done immediately or done on appointment based, is long distance body talk healing. So I've been doing that with people back in Canada, with people here in Mexico, a friend in Australia I've worked on him. And then I also have online meditation that we go through, focusing on 1 meditation, 4 or 8 sessions. And same with the yoga. We'll do 1 session, 3 sessions, or 5. And yeah, then I'm going to be back in Canada for the summer, starting in June. June 17th, I'll be home until October. I don't know the exact date, but I have some stuff lined there. So if you're in that area of the world, it'd be great to see you for a massage or a body talk or any kind of session, yoga session as well. And in Mississippi, August 7th, 8th, and 9th, I believe that's the dates. I'm putting on a yoga retreat. I will have more information coming out for you as soon as possible within the next couple of weeks. So that is open to everybody in Yorkton, Brandon, Saskatchewan, Manitoba area. Anywhere, wherever you are able to attend. It's just going to be 2 nights and 2 nights and I guess part of Friday and part of Sunday. So 2 nights and 2 days. And that will just be focused on a lot of meditation, healing, healthy eating, and a lot of good cleansing, balancing the brain and the body. So retreats in Puerto Vallarta. And also in the next couple of weeks, I'll have dates upcoming for next season for Mexico yoga retreats. And those will include food, your accommodations, at a private villa that we have, cooks, chefs cooking for us, as well as some excursions, and yeah, just being immersed into the beautiful weather down here. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I kind of chatted a lot about different stuff there. But yeah, I'll get the recording out. So to those people that have missed it, and to everyone else online, thanks for tuning in. If you ever have any questions, definitely just send an email and we can go from there. Any other topics that you would like to focus on or have questions with, you can just shoot me a message. I'll do my best and try to answer those and include that in the webinars. But yeah, other than that, I guess that's all for today. Take care, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.